Hey guys, welcome back. It is a very exciting day because we are now on update 14. In fact, I believe it's technically update 14.2 since there's already been some hotfixes, but it feels like quite a long time since we've had a new update to explore, so I am very interested to see all the changes and get to play around in it. So, as is tradition, let's start off with a brief summary of the updates that were made, and this time round the main changes were around crystals, or more specifically, modifying crystals. So, as you all know, the way we've always added a seal, or an augment, or a catalyst to a crystal has been to put them in the anvil, but that is no longer the case. Now we have a new workbench where we'll be able to do all of our modifying. But that's not all. Crystals will also now have a capacity when you make them, and each catalyst and such that you add will fill that capacity. You can add more than the capacity, but that will also curse your vault, which cannot be removed, so I think it would probably be a bit of a balancing act to do so. I am incredibly interested by this change, and we are definitely going to look at this in more detail today, because these changes sound just so promising. But before we get into that, there are still more updates to talk about, including the fact that catalyst crafting is no longer random, so you can pick whether you want to make an ornate catalyst, or living, or gilded, or whatever, which is really cool. And another interesting thing is that for things like chaos vaults and cake vaults, where you can't really modify them in the same way that you can other crystals, those are now different types of vault rocks, so you don't change them in the workbench, you just put them into the altar and create them like a normal crystal. And in case you're wondering, I did have a quick look, and don't worry, all the chaos catalysts and cake seals we've been saving up have all been converted into the new vault rocks, so we're still sitting on a pretty healthy stockpile. They've also changed how inscriptions work, which sounds very promising because, we haven't done a bunch with them in the past, but we have done a couple of vaults, and it's where we've added certain rooms that we want to explore, but now instead of needing to add the rooms and then find a balance between the time and the completion percentage and the instability, you just add an inscription to a crystal like you would a catalyst, and that room will show up in the next vault, and a map will generate in the starting room showing you where it is so you can go and find it. They also buffed bounty XP rewards and treasure chests, along with a bunch of other updates, but I think those are the main things I wanted to mention. The full patch notes are on the Vault Hunters website, and I'll put a link in the description as well if you want to read more. But what we really need to do is make ourselves a crystal workbench, because I feel like trying to explain how the crystal system works is pretty hard without actually seeing the interface and being able to see how different things work. So let's go make the workbench. And one crystal workbench. Perfect. Ooh, and it's a quest. Of course they would have updated the quest system. We'll take a look at that as well. And I think this can just live right here. Okay, so this is the new interface for the crystal workbench, and we can see that there's space at the top for seals and augments and capstones, and then over here is where we'd add things like catalysts and inscriptions. But I think if we want to properly look at this, we probably first need to make a crystal so we can actually see how things look. So let's get one sorted. And let's take a proper look. So you can see here that this vault crystal has a capacity of 84, and that's because the capacity of a crystal is basically the same as your level. So I have room for 84 size to go onto this crystal, and you can see the same up here. So I just grabbed some random things so we can see how it all looks. So if I was to try and add the seal of the sage to make it an elixir, you can see it changes the objective, but it doesn't take any capacity. And the same for the augment. If I was trying to say make it a mesa theme, if we put it up here, it would define it as a mesa, but not take up any capacity. And I thought I saw in the patch notes that the old catalysts and inscription should work, but I think I must have misread that, and they're probably just working on it. So for now, let's just make a new catalyst. Let's say gilded, for argument's sake. And you'll see that it says it has a size of 10. So if we were to put this catalyst over here, you'll see that the capacity is now 74, and we've added gilded, but we've also added a random negative. So at my level, we could in theory add 8 catalysts, and I believe most inscriptions are also worth 10, so we could add 4 catalysts and 4 inscriptions, and we wouldn't curse our vault. Obviously, a lot of the catalysts come with a random negative modifier, but we wouldn't actually fully curse the vault. So this gives a lot more peace of mind because I don't have to worry about exhausting the crystal or making it so that you don't get the full completion that you wanted when trying to use inscriptions. You just have a little bit more control, I guess, over the outcome of the crystal because it's all laid out right here. We know how many things we can add, we know what we're going to get from it, and being able to choose which catalysts you create means you can really actually focus down on something that you're going after. If you want to do a run with an absolute ton of ornate catalysts, but you don't have any, you can just go up and craft them. So it's actually really cool, and I love the idea of playing around with this. And as we saw, I completed the quest for creating the new modification table, and this quest, as always, is incredibly helpful in explaining exactly what everything does and how everything works. So it explains about seals and augments and capstones and catalysts and all of that lovely stuff. And it actually gives us some seals, an augment and a capstone, which is very nice. So we will complete that. And then this quest is going to tell us all about inscriptions, which obviously we do already know about this. And here it says, like I said, that most crafted inscriptions will take up 10 capacity, but if you find them inside the vault, then they might take up less, which is always very cool. Let's see if just picking up our inscription table will do the trick. Perfect. So we can say that we've done that, which is very nice. And let's continue looking at the other quests. So this one is telling you all about vault rocks, which you now no longer craft. Instead of getting chipped vault rock when you mine the vault stone, you now just get the vault rocks, which is a very nice idea. So we know all about that, so we can complete. And then this is about the Warden's Vault Rock, which actually I believe we made one previously, so let's see if just picking that up will do the trick. There it is. If we put that in our inventory, perfect. And now that is also complete. And then, okay, apparently we've got a new quest to do with vendors, so all we have to do is open one, which I'm sure we'll get round to doing. And then we're back to the Divine Paradox, which we've never actually looked into. I should really do that at some point, but possibly not today. I feel like today we've already had to look at a lot of things and take in a lot of information. So let's leave this for another day, but we are definitely going to take a look at the Divine Paradox soon because it's just an element that we have never actually explored. So it would be nice to take a proper look at that. But for now, like I said, I feel like we've already done a lot of information processing today, so let's take a look at our bounties and just get into running a vault. So we have our legendary bounty, which we are very close to completing, which is wonderful. Then we have gather elixir for 3 pairs of leggings, okay. We have mine 11 black opal, and ooh, this is the new chaotic vault rock, which I mentioned previously. We do have some of these, but I'm always down to get more, so that's quite interesting. And we have kill 1 ghast in the overworld. Do I have? I do. I think we can do this quite easily. Yep. That seems to have done the trick, and we got the challenge for it as well. But more importantly, we got the bounty. So let's claim our bounty and take both of the other 2 because, ooh, I can't take both. Ah, I think I remember reading about this. 1 second. Yes, as part of the update, there was apparently a current glitch. I don't know if they have a way of fixing it, but our expertise points have all disappeared and they've also not been given back to us in order to reallocate them. So I think we need to use a neuralizer, which luckily I have 3 of them, and hopefully, yes, we have our expertise points back. Let's assign those. Well, I definitely need my 3 levels in Bounty Hunter for 2 bounties. I also love my God Altars, so let's take 3 levels in Divine. Fortuitous Finesse is almost as good as it is difficult to say, so let's take both of those. bartering is very helpful with my very bad vendor habit, so we'll take both of them. Unbreakable is just so good for keeping gear going longer than it should, so I think I'm gonna go all in on that. And then with our final point, let's go for 1 level in jeweler. And then while we're here, we may as well also spend our actual skill point, and I think I'm gonna go with another level in prudent. We can open you when we get back out, and since one of our bounties is to complete an elixir, let's add this to our crystal. Take the other bounty now that we actually can, and let's see what we get. What theme do you have? Mesa theme. I didn't accidentally put an augment on that, did I? Don't think I did. Okay, so we've got a Mesa theme, and actually it looks like I probably should have repaired my magnet and possibly my shield, but I have an anvil and a repair core, so if they break, we should just be able to fix them. And as it's elixir, we, as usual, are not going to know how this is going to go until we actually start going. So let's hope that we have some good rolls. We've been doing pretty well on our elixirs recently, so really hoping that this is going to continue. And, well, they give some, and so do the wooden chests. Okay, I think this should hopefully be pretty doable. And there's a hand in the first room, which as always is incredibly helpful. I would actually also really like to find an ore room in this vault if we can. Ooh, ores, hello. Would you happen to have some rutadite and or black opal? Because that would be great. Oh, that was some black opal. Perfect. What do you have? Ooh, it's an axe, but still, it is an omega. I was really hoping to be able to put some of my inscriptions and catalysts that I already have onto a crystal today, but if that's not working, I might just have to make some new ones just so we can actually test it out, because it would be such a shame to not play one of the more interesting vaults when they've just added functionality for it. But we'll have to see how we're doing. Hello, Omega Room! It's been a while since we've seen this one. Glad you could join us, that's very kind of you. I think that was everything. How did we do? Yeah, that's a pretty good haul. And we're very close to completing our elixir, but not quite there. But with 18 minutes left, I don't think that's going to cause us any serious issues. So let's just keep this thing going. Man, that was very, very nice. And this is an ore room. Perfect. And that is our bounty complete. Perfect. And we've already got 4 of the black opal towards our other bounty. This has worked out beautifully. That was the exact opposite of what I meant to do. Hello. Ooh, and that is also a Wendar altar. Let's go see what that wants. 11 minutes? That's fine. Kill 9 dungeon mobs. Well, we'll see if we can find a dungeon. I'd be down for that. Any chance of a dungeon down here? Yes, okay. Hopefully it won't be impossible. And hopefully it also has more than 9 mobs, because we have had that issue before. Hello. Difficulty normal. And this is quite a big dungeon. I think this should be fine to give us what we need. And it comes with some coins, which is always lovely. just one more. Hello. That's more than one of you. But I don't mind, because we got the favour. Perfect. And we got extra speed, which is always very entertaining, because it is completely unwieldy. But also, it does mean we can clear more ground, which is... Hi. Are you just complete? You're just completely stuck. Okay, fair enough, my friend. Thank you. And I think we're good to go. Hi, do you have... You do. Hello, I would just like your ancient debris, please. Ooh, what are you? Add 2 minutes. Okay, I will add 2 minutes. That is very nice. Hey, champion. Ooh, a poisony boy. Wonderful. My favourite kind. Well, okay, that's my favourite kind when they give me an epic vault helmet. Ooh, a vendor. Finally. We have completed the quest. That was definitely our first time ever opening a vendor, so that's good. Difficulty normal. Oh, we can do this for 3 minutes. Why not? Okay, 0% durability left. Hi, bud. Thank you for the epic vault helmet. That is incredibly kind. Ooh, an inscription, and that should actually be one of the new inscriptions. Another one. Okay, we might actually be able to play with some of them in the next vault, which would be quite fun, considering we can't use the inscriptions that we've had saved up, at least at the moment. That was a very nice dungeon to find. Perfectly timed as well. Actually, perfect timing on my magnet thing if it just survives like a couple more seconds. Let's click on this. Vault complete. And let's just clear these guys out. Oh man! Okay, that was a pretty successful run. Ah, there was a lost bounty in that vendor. But we got 100,000 XP, 345 coin piles, 94 ores and 265 chests, and 727 mobs. And we got the favour from Wendar, and I'm pretty sure we also got a reputation point. And we found a ton. That ornate Omega room was so good to find, and that living dungeon was also brilliant. Yep, that was quite the vault. We got over 2,000 bronze, a great amount of ores, a dragon room and factory room inscription, and as you can see, both of these say that they're size 10, so I believe that means they should work in the workbench, which is brilliant. We also got a majestic charm and 42 gear pieces, including our Omega axe and our 2 epic helmets. And we also got 25 jewels, and it looks like 2 of them are legendary as well, since gear and jewels with legendary modifiers now have these little sparkle icons on them, so those should be very interesting. Plus, on top of that, we completed our legendary bounty and our elixir bounty. And we completed the vault, so we also get to open all of these. As for our jewels, we'll be keeping these at the top, so we have this size 11, almost max roll on item rarity, which is very nice. This legendary 54% vanilla immortality, which is brilliant. This size 14, which I think I'm going to keep for the 9% trap disarm, which is very nice. This size 13, pretty high mining speed roll, which is wonderful. This size 18, 64% legendary vanilla immortality, which is brilliant. This size 14, which I think I'm going to be keeping for the very nice mining speed. This size 10, pretty decent durability roll. And finally, this size 14, once again, very nice mining speed. And as for all of this gear, I think we'll be keeping all of these. So first we have our majestic Valara charm this time round, which has 19 uses and 43%, so that is very nice. Then we have this chestplate with a max roll on legendary item quantity, which is incredibly intriguing to me. So definitely going to keep hold of that. And then we have these pieces of epic gear, which I think are better than some of my backups, but nothing particularly jumping out as something that we really need to use straight away, but definitely worth keeping hold of. And since we completed that legendary bounty, let's see what our next one's going to be. Find 4 spider webbing spools, but get 95,000 experience, an artifact fragment, a gilded catalyst, a wooden catalyst, an epic chestplate, opportune. Okay, this is a very, very nice legendary bounty. I mean, an artifact fragment, 95,000 experience? I guess they really weren't kidding when they said that they've buffed the XP from bounties, but oh boy, okay. And I think since we did quite a lot of talking at the start of the episode with the update and the new workbench and everything, we probably only have time for one more vault today. So how about we make it a special one? First, we'll need a crystal. Then we'll want to make some wealthy catalysts for coin piles. Let's go with 4. And we'll put our dragon room inscription in that we just got. And I guess we may as well also make it a scav, so we have a chance of finding some spider webbing spools towards our legendary bounty. And I think that will do it. I mean, obviously I can add more. I've got enough space for 3 more things, and I could add 3 more catalysts, but I don't actually know how much more space there is in a dragon room, so I don't want to keep putting a ton of catalysts on it and not really get the return, because the dragon room is already pretty stacked with coins, so I think adding these should hopefully add a ton more coin piles and not be wasted with just not having anywhere extra to spawn them. So I guess let's apply, fix our magnet, boots, and shield, and let's see what we get. Oh boy, hopefully the room won't be too far away. And oh, what do we get? 1 times rapid, 1 times draining, and 2 times onslaught. Okay, could be worse. And it looks like we need to go 2 forward and then 2 to the left. So hopefully I will remember that. That would be quite embarrassing if I don't. So everyone remember this, and then when I inevitably forget, you can put it in the comments making fun of me. And what do we want from the actual scav? We need 3 red scrolls, 8 drowned hide, 12 green mob essence, 1 wizard wand, and 20 ripped pages. I mean, of course it doesn't want anything from coins, that would be convenient if it did, but I mean, obviously the absolute main goal of this vault is to get to the dragon room and loot it, but that shouldn't take the full 29 minutes, hopefully, so once we've got that sorted, we can give this a shot, but I'm not going to hold my breath on it. I mean, 8 drowned hides and 1 wizard wand, that is quite a difficult scav, or at least it definitely has the potential to be, so let's just hope this goes well. We've also got, I think, a sweet theme, which is never my favourite, so we'll just see how this goes. And do I want to loot on my way there? I kind of want to just run straight there, but I feel like it's possibly a mistake to do so. I think it should be the next room. Yes, I can see that black stone anywhere. Oh boy. Okay, that looks like a lot of coin piles. Okay. Now, as much as I know I can dash out of here, I'm going to put some water down just in case we run into any issues. It went okay last time, so here's hoping that our luck continues with that. Oh, thank you for the wand. That's very kind of you. Okay, let's see if I can get somewhere that's a little bit clearer. Oh, okay, there's an ethereal champion right there. Hi. This is really not the room for you to do that in, if you don't mind. You could all become unethereal. Thank you. Look at that. There are so many coins. Okay. Looks like I probably could have added a couple more catalysts before it would have actually had no return, but it's good to experiment with these things, because what I really don't want to do is use a bunch of materials and then find that it didn't actually do all that much for me because I just didn't know enough about how it worked. This looks very weird. I don't know if that's actually meant to look like that, but apparently it does. Oh! Look at this thing. Okay, let's repair this. Thank you. I think that is pretty much everything. So let us head back out and take a look at that because I am very intrigued. Oh, that's like over 6,000 bronze, and that's not even counting the silver. Oh boy, okay, that's pretty good. Christ. And the new system is just so easy. Didn't have to worry about instability or anything like that. It just goes. That is so good. And clearly, like, as much as we got an awful lot from that, there still seemed to be some room. So it's not like we added the max that we could. We could do that again with a couple more catalysts as well, and it would be even better. Oh boy. Yeah, I like that a lot. And I really like that map system in the first room. It just makes it so easy to find where you need to go, which is incredibly nice. Ooh, that's cheap. Let's buy that. And yeah, you could also easily do that with the same number of catalysts, but add a second dragon room that you have to go and find. And that would also be absolutely awesome. Yeah. I know that this obviously is how the crystal system has always worked, but it's just never been something that felt easy to get into and feel like it was something I could properly explore, whereas now I feel like if I wanted to, I could just randomly decide, hey, I really would like to run a mine room today. Let's make the inscription and then just run it rather than having to worry about how many extra inscriptions I have for the right amount of time and completion percentage. It's just so much simpler. And I think that was a Wendar altar. It is. 17 minutes? Let's do it. 14 tank mobs. Okay, gonna have to get lucky on that one, but it would be great if you could give me some tank mobs, Vault. That would be real nice. I think in this theme it's the pink guys. Hello. Hello tank mob. Thank you for joining us. Very much appreciate it. If you could tell your friends that I need stopping and that they should come over here, that would be amazing. Yes. You beauties. Oh boy. There's our speed and our reputation point and our spider webbing spool. Oh, okay, that POI was perfectly timed. Christ. That feels very good. I did not think we were going to get that. Yes, let's do some of this. Hi, if you could have black opal, that would actually be kind of amazing. I see a black opal. I would like it, please. And I believe this is our home. Yes, it is. And we have no chance of actually completing this. So let's actually just loot our first room since we originally ran straight through it. And what do you have? Another dragon room inscription. Okay. Do I want another dragon room inscription? Why not? We had good fun with the one we just did, so why not take another one? Alright. Well, that was pretty successful. Ooh, not a huge amount of XP, but we mined 1,305 coin piles. 50 ores, 148 chests, and 646 mobs. Man, those coin piles. That was just so many. And I mean, it does make sense. Of course there's that many. There's already a lot and then we added even more, but that was just so many. Well, considering we got over 7,000 bronze out of that vault, I think that worked out pretty fantastically. And we also got some other great loot, including a good amount of ores with some black opal towards our bounty, an epic sword and dragon room inscription from the vendors, 13 gear pieces, and 9 jewels. Plus we completed our legendary bounty in a single vault, which is kind of crazy. So we also get all this XP and all this loot. And we actually have another artifact fragment and 2 duplicate artifacts that we should be able to turn into artifact fragments and hopefully get a full new artifact to roll. And hopefully I remember how to do this. I think you just light a fire and then throw these in. I really hope I haven't got this wrong. And that means we have an unidentified artifact that we can roll. Boy, there is something infinitely terrifying about throwing an artifact into some fire. But it worked. But before we can take a look at our artifact, first we need to take a look at our jewels. So we're going to be keeping hold of this size 11 perfect jewel with a perfect item quantity roll. I mean, you can't get much better than that. Then we have this size 10 for a very high item quantity roll, which is brilliant. And finally, this size 14 for another pretty high item rarity roll, which is wonderful. And as for this gear, I think we'll just be keeping these 3, but we did find 1 legendary modifier, but unfortunately it was on an axe. But just look at that attack damage modifier. It's actually, I think, yeah, it's 0.5 better than our current one, so it's not that different. But, oh, it's so good to see another one of these. But yeah, on an axe, that is going to be scrapped. But I think we will be keeping hold of these 3 pieces of epic gear. We have a wand, a sword, and a chestplate. And as usual, I think they all have a lot of good potential, and I actually don't think we've kept hold of a sword recently. I mean, obviously, we've got my one, which has 5 repair slots, so we're not going to need one anytime super soon, but I think they're probably all worth keeping as backups. And then we have our artifact. We have been doing so well on these recently. We have got 14 out of 25 artifacts. So if we do manage to find a new one, that would be absolutely amazing. But obviously this artifact was made up of previous duplicate artifacts, so even if it is a dupe, there is still some good value behind it, but oh, I would love to get a new one. Let's see what we get. And I think that is a duplicate of that one. So that can go in there. And the next time we have 4 of these, then we can make another artifact out of them. And that is wonderful. But I think we're going to have to leave this episode here. We may have only run 2 vaults today, but they were pretty packed, and I don't think I'll be forgetting the sheer amount of coins from that dragon room anytime soon, because that was quite something. Hopefully next time we'll be able to play around a bit more with the workbench, see what our next legendary bounty is going to be, and maybe, finally, take a look at the Paradox Vault. Who knows? Until then, thank you guys for watching, I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye!